everybody in the IT sector agrees that we should design a secure system, and researchers have invented a very large numbers of design methodologies. And now the question is, how do you know that the methodology works in practice? And by in practice, we mean when applied by somebody different than the inventor.
It is very important for university and for practitioners to meet research and theory and practice.
And basically the idea of eRISE is this: bring together designers, practitioners, students, and try them to apply the methodology and see if they really work. Welcome everybody here for this event, for the eRISE 2012. For the student from France, this is your International Week. And for Trento, this is a risk requirement challenge for students of Trento. And one important thing is also this is a pilot of the EIT. eRISE that stands for Risk and Security Requirements Engineering Methodology, brings together these designers in the framework of an European project called NESSUS, for Network of Excellence on Secure and System Software Engineering, and together with the EIT ICT Labs Winter School for Security and Privacy. Trento is one of the nodes of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, and the other nodes are in Berlin, Eindhoven, Helsinki, Paris, Stockholm, and indeed Trento. So the participants to eRISE are two kinds, if you want. On one side, we have researchers, method designer, they've invented methods, they've made lots of publication, and now is the time to see if they can really teach them to some people that are not their students, so they are not obliged to learn it, but can apply still the method successfully.
So the name of the method is an acronym, is LINDUNN. In a nutshell, is a methodology to guide an analyst to execute the privacy analysis of a software-based system. So it's a way to uncover potential issues, threats to the privacy threats that might emerge in a system.
And Secure TROPOS is a methodology that considers security from the early stages of the software development process and assists the developers to identify security requirements.
It's a systematic approach, and that means that it's supposed to give a complete coverage of the potential privacy issues that a system might expose.
With my presence here, I will have the chance to get useful feedback from the participants to see how practitioners understand the methodology, how easy for them to comprehend it, how easy for them to learn it, and I can get some very useful information that I cannot get from people that are already familiar with the Secure TROPOS methodology.
Specifically for our method, I have to admit that there are not many alternatives out there, at least not as developed as the one that we have. So I think it is also interesting to be exposed to a methodology that really gives you an end-to-end guidance, and it can be applied in practical way out of the box. So I think it's interesting from both sides, getting the exposure to the privacy as an important aspect of analyzing a system, and also having the knowledge of a more developed technology in order to do that, given the fact that the competition is not that large.
It's exciting that I have the chance to meet with other colleagues to see their works and discuss about their works, to see what are the differences, similarities with other methodologies, and get face-to-face conversation with the actual method designer of those methodologies, and the chance to have face-to-face feedback from the actual practitioners.
Then we have industry, case study owners. So they're members from industry that represent the case studies that they should apply. For this edition, we have Atos and Siemens, that they will present interesting case studies on e-health and the smart grid.
The main idea of such a smart grid is to manage in a cost-efficient manner all the customers that are linked to the power grid, in the sense that all these customers can be either consumers or producers of energy, or both.
The case study that we have brought here is an e-health scenario. So Siemens has a big division on healthcare and has many products in healthcare. So we have thought about the e-health record management system that we have in many different flavors and sorts in all over the world. So we have here a small, let's say, part of the whole system.
The main benefit for us is to validate the way the scenario is posed to the people involved in eRISE, and also checking whether the methodologies that we have within the project are good enough to address such a scenario in an appropriate methodological way.
So we have analyzed this system internally at Siemens in many places. So, but it is possible that we find new aspects or new things that we haven't thought about. So it is, for me, it's also a challenge to see how much the students can bring up, which is new to us.
And then we have practitioners as student. It's an international team, people coming from Trento, from Paris, with an MBA in audit and security, and people with, in this way we bring people with different experience.
I think it's a good opportunity too to study on some methods from research. It's also something that we can do usually.
We have people with, 32 years of experience in secure software development and audits, and on one side, freshman master student. This is also what happens in reality. You normally have mixed teams of senior member and junior member, and they have to apply the method and show that it works.
Nice opportunity to meet other people, other experience in the field of security and computer science in general.
Almost of them are in the big four companies of auditing and consulting, like KPMG, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young.
It's very interesting for me because it is a combination between the theory and the experience.
Others are in big companies or in banks, BNP banks or SFR, telecommunication.
We have different cultures and different ways to work, so it is an amazing experience.
So in this way we will have a mix of talks and lectures and active session in which the participants, divided in teams, will try to apply the research methods to design new system and make security recommendation for the industry case owners.
I work here in eRISE on security argumentation on a smart grid case.
I'm working on the LINDUNN method and on the case study smart grid.
So here, with the idea of this event, is try to short circuit both what research do and practice does. So on one side, we would like to expose the people here to research methods. And on the other side, one expose research methods to student and practitioners.
I'm working on the secure TROPOS method. So yeah, it's a bit impressive at first because I'm not used to these theoretical methods. But yeah, everyone is open to answer our questions, so that's good.
We can both learn something. As students and practitioners, one may need that maybe there are different solutions than the standard one. And the research designer might learn that maybe they need something simpler. And this might shorten the road from research to innovation.
Then we have some real referee for asking questions and doubts, so we feel more in contact with the topic of the use case.
So what's the idea of the program to achieve this? We will have some scene settings, we will have some lectures from the experts, some research exposure in which the method designer will teach you the methods, and then some practice case studies in which we will present you 2 concrete case studies that we will have to use. Then mixed teams from Paris and Trento will try to solve it by using the research method assigned to them. And then we'll have to prepare a final recommendation, which will be 2 presentations, one at the end of the Trento stage, one at the end of the Paris stage, and the short final report. So how do we collect this feedback? In 2 different ways. One is questionnaires. We will distribute something and Federica will explain them at the end of this week to have the first impression, and at the end of the second week in Paris. And through ethnographical observation, in which various observers will record the work of the various groups, observing how the method is applied. So let me explain also a bit why ethnographic observation, and you will see here there are some cameras here and there, they have different purposes. So one first thing of ethnographic observation is that as a group you don't need to keep track of the feedback yourself. You just work as you apply the method normally, and with the recording, which is either audio or video, we can just do the tagging after for you. People spend 3 hours on this step of the method.
They're really very interested. I noticed very concrete questions, which is important. So I had the impression they're not flowing around, but they're very concrete and very on the subject.
It's a good way for them to check their knowledge and to check also whether the tools that they have, methodologies and so on, can be applied properly to this kind of real scenarios.
I think they're in a very good track, and I think it's the correct attitude, the way that they are working, and they're very focused. So I had a very good impression.